Alright, now that all the setup on Windows side is complete, let's proceed with integrating the shared network printer with the domain joined Linux system. To add this printer into the domain joined Linux system, let's head over to the Linux instance. Alright, here we are. Let's right-click on the desktop and click on Open the Terminal submenu to open a new terminal window. Let's execute the command system config printer. Nearly all Linux desktops depend on this very user-friendly printer configure/management tool called system config printer. Though there may be minor differences in the GUI from distribution to distribution, the use of the tool is the same, and it's incredibly easy. Even without the GUI tool, managing printers in Linux is quite simple, thanks to a web front end for the Common Unix Printing System, or CUPS. Anyway, this printer configuration tool is very similar to the Windows counterpart. To add a new printer to this Linux instance, let's click New. Here it is giving you an option to adjust firewall settings, which may be necessary to configure some network printers. For now, we will not need it, so let's click Do It Later. This is the Add New Printer dialog. This allows you to add to a serial printer which is physically attached to the Linux instance. Or it also allows you to add a network printer. We will, of course, opt for the latter option. Expand the network printer node. Here you are given several options to add different types of network printers. Let's pick Windows Printer via Samba. As it is apparent by the type name, here you will add the printer via the Samba protocol. On the right-hand side, you need to provide a complete SMB address for the shared network printer. An SMB host is a host that can be addressed by means of the SMB protocol. Normally, this is a Windows host. However, it can also be a Linux host running the Samba service. To address the printer using the SMB protocol, the SMB host must have a share for this printer. In this case, our Windows 2012 R2 server has already been configured for this. So let's go ahead and add the details for the shared network printer. First, let's provide the IP address of our Windows server, 192.168.1.254. And now type in the share name for the shared printer, which in this case is Tetra1. Now let's click on Browse to verify that you can actually connect to the shared printer. Here we get a dialog box which informs us that you may need to modify the firewall rules. Let's dismiss it for now. And finally, you are presented with this authentication dialog box, where you can provide your domain credentials so that you can actually access the printer. Let's input the domain administrator account for the domain Tetranoodle. Username is administrator. Domain is Tetranoodle. And now let's input the password and click OK. Great! So as you can see, we were able to scan the shared printers on this host, and the two shared network printers are now listed here. One of which is the required printer, Tetra1. Let's select it. Click OK. Now, click Forward. Here you will need to select the appropriate driver for the selected network printer. Similar to Windows, most Linux distributions also come prepackaged with a bunch of drivers. So let's select Generic option for the make of the printer. Text-only printer option is already selected for our printer model. This is what we want. So let's click Forward. Now you are given an opportunity to name this network printer and provide other details like the location of the printer. Let's just accept the default values and click Apply. Now you are presented with the dialog which gives you an option to print a test page. Let's dismiss this dialog because you can only send plain text to this printer. Let's open a text editor, type some text, say test. Now let's go ahead and print this document. Click File and then click Print. Now on this print dialog, let's select our network printer and click Print. And there you go. It is that easy to print from Linux to shared Windows printers. Alright, so let's quickly recap what you learned in this module. First, you deployed a shared printer on the Windows server. Then you verified that the network printer was deployed correctly and it was accepting print jobs. Next, you added the shared printer to the Linux system. Finally, you verified everything was set up correctly by sending a print job to the printer from the domain join Linux server. This also wraps up this course on interoperability between Windows and Linux. In this course, you got intimately familiar with interoperability techniques between Windows and Linux. We went through several interoperability scenarios we come across in the enterprise environments. First, you were introduced to the user registrations and deregistrations processes. After that, we discussed the password policy management in a mixed environment. Finally, we went over the drive file sharing and printer management. We hope you find this information useful and it will enable you to manage your heterogeneous environments in a better way. We also hope you had as much fun learning about Windows and Linux interoperability as we had putting together this course for you. Let's stay in touch. You can also connect with us directly via regular social channels like LinkedIn, Twitter, or email. We will be glad to help you out in any way we can. Please do not forget to leave a review for this course. It will really help us and other learners. And last but not least, please do check out other top-rated courses we are offering. There are many special offers available for you in the last bonus lecture of this course. Please consider it as a token of appreciation for our current students.